Welcome to the Chevrolet Dealer Profitability Pavilion. I'm joined here by Keith McCluskey and Mike Bowser. You're probably wondering what's this all about, and Mike, maybe you could help these guys understand what we've been working on for so long.
Well, thanks, Scott. And I think it's important for dealers to know that we asked for this Profitability Pavilion. Instead of a pavilion that you have, vendors and folks trying to sell us something we have to sign up to, but an actual pavilion that focuses on our profitability. PACE and EBE have a lot of components in that, and some are very complex. We asked you to have the experts here that a person can walk up, get their BAC, get their own data, be able to go home and affect change based on recommendations out of this pavilion.
Absolutely, Mike. I mean, these 5 workshops are packed with great information that are going to help us improve our profits.
Yeah, and I think improve our profits today, or improve your guys' profits today, right? You guys were
Right.
big on, this has got to be stuff that we can walk away from and actually do something. So I'm sure they're excited about getting to these workshops. So why don't we tell them what the workshops are all about?
Great, yep.
All right, so let's get into our first workshop. This is one, we call Drive Growth, something we're real excited about. I think it's, the key to this one is that real-time analytic capability allows you to kind of go deep into your process, and I think also maybe challenge, how good those leads are that are coming into your store. Keith, I know you've been on this for a little while. What are you learning from it?
Well, I mean, definitely you want to check your ego at the front door. The 2 things that exposed on us, immediately was we weren't following up with our leads long enough, and we had a bunch of underperforming lead providers that we were continuing to spend money with.
Right.
We learned the same thing. I mean, we all fall in love with our vendors and think they're the greatest, right? But Drive Growth allows you to peel the onion back. We saw that we weren't selling a car for over 4 months with 4 of our providers. One of them was $12,000 a month. So we took that money and put it back to what was working.
That's awesome. Yeah, I think we've seen that in other places as well. So I'm sure after that commentary, these guys are going to want to get fired up to get in and see what this is all about. This is an industry exclusive for us, so proud to sit here today and let the guys know that this is something that we're going to offer our dealers that nobody else will have. And, I think it was critical that we get it out quickly. So, Chevrolet's going to pay that bill for the dealers for this year.
Well, thank you.
Awesome.
Yeah.
The next workshop we're going to talk about is something we labeled When Vendors Compete, You Win. And I don't know how to say it any simpler than that. I think it speaks for itself right in the title. And this is really about leveraging the scale of Chevrolet and really the scale of the entire dealer network to try to drive some efficiencies and really take cost out of your business. And I know, Mike, you've had some experience here.
I have, and we asked for this. The size and scale of General Motors and Chevrolet, and bring those efficiencies to the store. What folks need to know is that these assessments that would happen in your store, they're looking at DMS, they're looking at routers, circuits, networks, they're looking at CRM, websites, all that stuff. For example, my Kennesaw store spends $81,000 a month on all that stuff. We think after the assessment, we have a real shot at getting it down to 40 to 45.
Wow.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you save $1,000 in fixed costs, and as we all know, that $1,000 drops right to the bottom line in increased profits.
Yeah, and I think you guys challenged us to not leave anything out, right? So we're going to try to do everything in this assessment from CRM to even DMS, and I know that's a big one for you guys, but I do think that there's some real money to be saved here, and hopefully they'll get that out of this.
This is an important one.
Yeah, for sure. All right, so this next workshop is something that we're calling our busiest showroom, and maybe not intuitive to everybody out there, but this is really about our websites, right? So collectively, we're getting 30 million visitors a month to our websites combined. That's 1 million visitors a day. That's big volume for us, and it's growing every month. We need to have tools that we can properly manage that business, right?
And everyone's an expert today, right? Everybody in the digital field's an expert. So what the dealers asked for was a digital report card, one that we can keep everyone accountable to the same standards and measure these folks, and see who's performing and who's not.
Yeah, and this profit workshop is going to show all of us how to create more high quality leads that we can then close at a higher percentage than we currently are, and that we're going to be able to acquire those leads at a lower cost than we currently pay.
Which is great.
Yeah, and I think they'll be able to take away too how they can leverage their IMR dollars most efficiently in this space.
Good.
And certainly by working with these certified vendors, these guys should be up and running every month at the beginning of the month, month in and month out.
And that's
Which is
important.
what we need.
Yeah.
The next workshop is what we're calling the power of e-commerce, and this is an absolutely exploding space. We really want to make it easy for consumers to do business with not only Chevrolet, but we want you guys to be a part of this. And I know, Mike, that's something you've constantly asked
That's
us
a
about,
question
right?
I get all the time. I get asked all the time. You know, with all the e-commerce and things moving to digital space and all that, where does the dealer fit? Do we have a seat at the table in all these aspects of doing business?
Yeah,
with you?
I think we're going to be able to demonstrate that to these guys here today, right? So we've got things from, you know, in-car technology that a consumer can push the button and actually schedule service. The rev share, I think, with OnStar is a big idea that you guys helped us come up with. And also this notion of, you know, selling accessories online. Gosh, we ran this pilot, and in a month, I think we were up 500%.
Yeah.
So we know we're onto something big. You guys are fulfilling that, though, and getting the credit, right?
Yeah,
Right.
plus every dollar of those accessory sales then count towards our EBE bonus that Chevrolet pays us for selling the accessories.
Right, so another opportunity.
Yeah,
to
win-win.
Right.
Okay, so the last workshop we're going to hit here is My Chevrolet Rewards Program. This is an enterprise automotive rewards program, the first in the industry. It's going to be at Chevrolet. We're excited to bring it out to the dealers today. It's something we've been waiting for a while, and it's finally here. You know, this is all intended to drive loyalty back to you, the dealer. And it's not a cheap date. We're going to fund a majority of the cost, and we've been working with you guys on, you know, what's the appropriate amount here that the dealer would participate. We appreciate you guys coming to the table, but I think it's reasonable to get this program off the ground.
Well, you know, I think it's important for the dealers to know we've been working on this for over a year. You know, we get the retention thing. We need the loyalty and retention and drive customers back to our stores constantly. So, you know, if I got to pay 2%, I mean, and a customer walks up to me and says, Mike, give me 5. Heck, I might even give them 10 to do business with me today. So I think it's a fair program now, and I'm looking forward to more affiliations and how this thing grows in the future.
Yeah, and this program will absolutely improve loyalty. I mean, it is going to drive people back into our service lanes and back into our showrooms so we can increase market share well into the future with this new loyalty.
Right.
Yeah, and this is going to be a tough one for the competition to duplicate,
Yep.
right? So if we do this right, it's going to drive business for all of us, and I think they're going to have a hard time keeping up.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Big one.
All right, so we went through the 5 workshops. I think all hard-hitting, I think really driving at things that are going to help these guys with profitability going forward. Appreciate you guys pointing us in that direction, right? But there is a 6th rotation, and this is something you all asked for. Let's not just bog these guys down with workshops. Let's give them a chance to wander around through the pavilion and really go to things that's meaningful to an individual dealer, right? So a place that they can spend time, and that's what the 6th rotation is all about.
Yeah, I think it's very important that that happened because I've heard from many of these folks, all the council members have heard from many of these folks, they don't understand certain things, they're concerned about certain things, why are we doing this, whatever. Here's your opportunity to go sit down with the expert in that department and look at your individual store and what you need to do to go home and implement and help move the needle. So thank you for doing that.
I mean, focusing on improving all of these processes will help all of us maximize our SFE, EBE, and PACE cash bonuses. But let's all remember, when we get real good at these processes, these real world processes, we're going to make a lot more money than just what we'd make off of PACE, EBE, and SFE, and forever.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more, right? So these are the things we want you guys focused on and we believe are going to take us to the next level, and appreciate you both for driving us to build this pavilion. And I think, you know, I know Vegas can be a distracting place, right? So let's hope that while the dealers are here that they do take advantage of
They
what
need
we
to
put
take
together.
advantage of
Thanks
that.
for doing it.
Yeah, no
thank
problem.
you.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.